Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be another what's for dinner video. I made one of these a couple weeks ago for the first time and I got so much amazing feedback. You guys didn't want me to change a thing. Today I'm going to be sharing 4 of our family's favorite recipes, but as a request, this video is going to be picky toddler favorites. So each meal in this episode is toddler approved and something that Marcus just gobbles up without any fuss. All the recipes in this video are going to be typed up in PDF format that you guys can download for free, so find the link to that down in the description box. The coolest part is that they will fit perfectly in the recipe section that I gave you guys in my meal planning videos. If you guys missed that video, I will have it linked down below along with the PDF format of the meal planner. Really quick before we dive into the first recipe, I just wanted to say hello if you're new here. My name is Justine and on my channel I am all about joyful motherhood, natural living, and an orderly and peaceful home, and I would love to have you be part of this community, so make sure you hit that red subscribe button right now and also leave me a comment down below to say hello and let me know where you're from, because I love getting to know you guys a little bit more. If you have been a long-time subscriber of my channel, would you please comment down below letting me know what kind of videos you would like to see coming up in the fall, because I am planning my fall content right now. Also, please take a moment to hit that like button because it really helps my channel out and I would appreciate it so much. And now let's get into the first recipe. So it is just after 6 o'clock and I haven't even started dinner yet. Daniel is late, so the kids are just watching a movie so that I have time to actually get in and do some of the cooking. But tonight's dinner is going to be a really quick and easy pasta recipe. It's only going to take about half an hour to cook, but about an hour ago the kids had a ton of watermelon, so I think they'll be okay that dinner's going to be about 45 minutes late tonight. So anyways, tonight I will be making a creamy tomato basil pasta and serving it with some French bread and a vegetable on the side. So ignore my dirty dishes over there, but these are the ingredients that I have for the recipe. Very simple. I always make my pasta sauce from scratch. This Trader Joe's organic tomato sauce is really good. It does have a little bit of seasoning, but I always like to add a little bit more and adjust it to taste. And I don't really have any measurements either for this recipe. I just kind of dump everything in, but I will type out approximate measurements for you guys down below and then you can just adjust it to your own taste. So we have some tomato sauce, some shelf-stable whipped cream. I love having these in my pantry. I don't use cream all the time, so if I only use part of a bottle, the rest usually ends up going bad before I get to it. So I love having this on hand in my pantry so that if any recipe should need it, I can just quickly grab it. So we also have some organic raw honey, some oregano, basil, and garlic powder, some Parmesan cheese, and then some organic penne pasta. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a 3-quart saucepan on the stove over medium heat and add some water to it. I like to boil my water in my kettle just because it boils a lot faster that way, and then I pour that into the pot. Also, I like to add a small handful of coarse ground pink Himalayan sea salt to my water. That will make it boil at a higher temperature, but also it will season the pasta. Next, it's time to start with the sauce. I just open the cans and dump them into a 2-quart saucepan. To that, I add about a tablespoon of honey. This is to balance out the acidity of the tomato sauce, and later on I'm going to taste it and see if I need to add more. To flavor the sauce, I like to add about 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano and also 1.5 teaspoons of dried basil, and then about 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. After that, I'm just going to give it a quick mix and then taste it to see if I got the seasoning right before cooking it on the stove. And I'm just going to bring it to a simmer over medium heat. After that, I added 1 pound bag of penne pasta to my boiling water and gave it a good mix so the pasta wouldn't stick together. I always like to put a lid on my tomato sauce because otherwise it's going to get all over. After that, I took my microplane zester and just zested about 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You can get this pre-shredded, but I love using fresh Parmesan. It is so much better and it also only takes a couple extra minutes. Once the pasta sauce has reached a boiling point, I turn down the heat to about medium-low and let it simmer for a few minutes longer. After about 4 or 5 minutes, I add all my shredded cheese to the sauce and mix that up until the cheese has melted. Because my cream is the shelf-stable stuff, it's already room temperature to avoid curdling, but if yours has been in the fridge, just take it out a little bit before you start cooking dinner so that it can warm up. I'm just gonna mix 1/2 cup of cream into the tomato sauce and it turns a beautiful orangish pink color. Now that this pasta sauce is done, I'm just going to taste it and then adjust the seasonings if it needs it. This tomato sauce was really acidic this time, so I did end up adding another tablespoon of honey, and after that it was perfect. By the way, I'm recording this voiceover a couple of days later, and I've had a cold, so I'm sorry about my voice, but I'm getting better, so hopefully my voice comes back soon. So I had about half a cup of cream left over, and the nice thing about this package is that a storage clip from IKEA fits perfectly around it, so I just threw it in my fridge that way. After that, it's time to drain the pasta, and a tip is if your pasta sauce is too thick, to save half a cup of pasta water to thin it down because it is already a seasoned water, but I usually forget to do that. After the pasta is strained, I just pour it in a bowl to serve, and then pour my creamy tomato basil sauce over the top of it. I'm just gonna give that a good mix, and the last thing I'm gonna do is top it all with some yummy Parmesan cheese. Okay, so here is dinner. I have some bread here. It's the crushed wheat sourdough bread from Trader Joe's, and the ingredients seem really pretty good for you, so I'm hoping that this one tastes good, because in the past we've gotten the white version of this, which is so good, but I wanted something a little bit more nutritious. I have some butter because Marcus loves butter on his bread. I do too. And then here is the pasta. I just topped it with some fresh basil to make it look really pretty and appetizing, and then we also just have some peas. I wanted to have a salad for Daniel and I because the kids love peas. They'll always eat peas, but salad is not quite their cup of tea. But I forgot, so we're all just gonna have peas tonight. I still have my Parmesan cheese and my zester out just in case anyone should want any more Parmesan on their pasta. So now we're gonna eat this and see what Marky thinks. Hey guys, so today is, what day is it? It's Saturday. Today is Saturday. It's already 5:45, so I need to start dinner right away. Tonight's dinner is going to be some chicken gnocchi soup, which is a creamy soup that my kids really love, and their favorite part about it are the gnocchis, or the little potato dumplings, which are so yummy in it. The great part about this meal is it also has some spinach and carrots, so the kids don't seem to mind eating along with everything. My sister and her family are here for dinner tonight, and this is a great meal to make a large batch of because it's really quick and easy. It's about a half hour to make, so I need to get started right away. So here are all the ingredients needed for the soup, which is actually not that many. For seasoning, it's just some thyme, salt and pepper, and lots of veggies, which is awesome. I have some gnocchi here, and I always like to recommend the Trader Joe's gnocchi because it's really inexpensive. This is like $1.69, but it tastes really good, and the texture is the best part about it. Like, not all gnocchi is created equal, so you either want to make it fresh, which could just take a long time, or find a good brand that you really like. We're also going to need some olive oil and then some baby spinach. I got organic spinach and organic celery because they are on the Dirty Dozen this year, so you want to make sure that all the celery and spinach you buy is organic, because otherwise it's just grown with a lot of chemicals and pesticides and stuff. So just keep that in mind when you're grocery shopping. I'll link the list down below of the Dirty Dozen Clean 15 for the year 2019 if you guys are interested. I also have some cornstarch, which is optional, and sorry about my nails. I was going to remove the nail polish today, but I couldn't. I was out of nail polish remover, so they're just like this in all the videos. I'm really sorry about that, but that's mom life. I have some cornstarch. This is unfortunately not non-GMO cornstarch. It's just all the store had, and I really needed it for a different recipe a while ago. So that's what I'm going to use this time. But like I said, it is optional. You don't need it for the recipe. And then I also love to get these shredded carrots from Trader Joe's because they are already just ready to dump in, and they're the perfect cut for the soup. I have some garlic. I love cooking with fresh garlic. It's just the best. And an onion, some chicken broth, which I think I might need to grab another one. I have some more. And then some half and half as well. You are also going to need 3 to 4 chicken breasts, but because mine are huge, they're like double the size of normal chicken breasts, I'm just gonna use 2. And these are frozen. I forgot to pull them out earlier, so I'm gonna put them in the microwave to defrost really quickly. Before I start anything else, I'm gonna get out my enamel Dutch oven. I love this pot, I've been using it for years, and I'm going to heat it up with about a tablespoon of olive oil and then start preparing my vegetables. I'm going to use about 2 celery stalks. First I wash them and then I slice them thinly. After that, I'm just going to take an onion and dice it. It calls for half an onion, but since mine is pretty small, I'm going to use the whole thing. Then I'm just going to add both of those to my Dutch oven that has been heating up and fry those till the onions are translucent. I really love this Dutch oven, by the way. It's an enameled cast iron. My sister gave it to me like 8 to 10 years ago, and I just have used it so much. It's lasted forever. It's Mario Batali, if anyone's wondering what brand it is. After that, I'm just going to break apart the garlic by whacking it on my cutting board and then break off a clove. I really need to get a garlic press. A lot of people have been suggesting that I get one, and I'm on the hunt for one, but I don't want anything that's going to break or be too hard to clean. So if you have any suggestions on brands, please put them down below. But right now I'm just mincing my garlic with a knife. I don't like to add the garlic while the veggies are cooking. I like to add it a little bit later when they're almost done, because garlic will burn and become bitter if you cook it too hot or too long. Earlier to my pot, I forgot to add the shredded carrot, so I'm just going to do that now, and I'm just going to guess the equivalent of about 1 to 2 carrots. After that, I'm just going to chop up all my spinach. I like to try to roll all the leaves together and then thinly slice it with a knife. And I'm not going to put it in the soup right now. I just wanted to chop it up and get it out of the way because I'm going to be working with some chicken, and I like to get all my veggies done first, just to avoid cross-contamination. After that, I'm just going to chop my 2 chicken breasts into small bite-sized cubes. After that, I'm going to add all the chicken to the cooking veggies. I'm going to give it a quick mix, and then it's time to add the liquid to the soup. I'm just going to add 4 cups of organic chicken stock, which equals 1 of these containers, and then I'm going to add 2 cups of half and half. Which, side note, I always forget to do this, but I recommend adding the half and half much later when the soup is almost done, just to avoid curdling, and also letting your half and half warm up on the counter till it's room temperature before you start cooking with it. I always forget to do this. I really need to make a note of it on my recipe. After that, I'm just going to season my soup with some salt and some pepper, and then to that add 1 teaspoon of thyme. After that, we're gonna let it gently boil for about 4 minutes and then turn it down to a simmer for 10. And as you can see, my half and half curdled very badly, but to try to doctor it up, I did add a little bit of cream to it because the fat content in cream will help it bind together, which it did help a lot. And also, I forgot to add this, but I did mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch with about 2 tablespoons of water and added that. That's gonna thicken the soup, but also it helps with curdling as well. Just about 2 minutes before the soup is done, it's time to add the chicken and the gnocchi and let them cook until the spinach has wilted. Okay, so the chicken gnocchi soup is ready. It looks really good. The cream and cornstarch helped quite a bit with the curdling, but it's still just a little bit curdled. So what I would recommend is adding the half and half a little later after you're done boiling. I didn't think about that this time and just added it with the chicken stock, but I'll have that note in the recipe down below. Because the soup has lots of veggies in it, I'm just going to be serving it with some more of that crushed wheat sourdough bread and some butter. Oh, Chloe! Really quick, before they gobble it up, they are eating so fast. Marky, is it good? You love the gnocchi? Busy, do you like the soup too? Good. Hey guys, so it is Monday night and I'm actually running really late tonight because we went to Target and our shopping trip just took a lot longer than expected. But that's okay because the kids had some snacks so they're not starving, and tonight's dinner is going to be really quick and easy. I'm just going to make a quick stroganoff type thing with a white sauce, throw in some freezer veggies, and then serve that over some brown rice. And it's something the kids really love, but it is one of my last minute really easy dinners. So here are the ingredients I'm going to need for this meal. I have some ground beef. This is organic ground beef that I just defrosted in the microwave. I try not to do that usually, but I forgot to defrost it this morning. I have some garlic powder and thyme to season the sauce, salt and pepper, and then some milk, flour, and butter to make the white sauce, which I need to get out some olive oil to fry the veggies in. Also saute some white button mushrooms, and my kids really like these for some reason, but if you need to disguise them in your food, then just chop them up really tiny and they'll blend in with the ground beef. Chloe loves mushrooms. I don't know why, because I didn't like them as a kid, but now I love them. And then I also have some onion that I'm going to chop finely, some frozen peas. I throw this into so much because my kids really do like peas, but if they like broccoli, go ahead and chop that up and use that. I just like to try to get something green into this. You could actually do a lot of different veggies in this. It's really a very versatile recipe. This has been my lifesaver so many times. This is organic brown rice. There's 3 packages in here and it's frozen from Trader Joe's. Normally I would make my brown rice from scratch, but like I said, I am running a lot way behind, and this cooks in the microwave in just 3 minutes. It is such a lifesaver. So we're just gonna start cooking now. Okay, so the first thing I do is start heating up my skillet with a little bit of olive oil to saute the ground beef and the veggies. I'm just gonna take 1 small onion and dice it really quickly. I'm going to add the onion to my saute pan along with about ½ a pound of ground beef. I'm going to take a wooden spoon and just break up the ground beef by smashing it and mixing it around as it cooks. After that, it is time to prepare the mushrooms, and mushrooms are very delicate and they have lots of dirt on them. So the way I clean them is I fill a bowl with some water, dump the mushrooms in and let them just flow in the water while I just kind of swish them around with my hands. You'll see how dirty the water gets. It cleans the mushrooms so well and they stay nice and fresh. After that, I'm just going to take this really cool slicing gadget. I love this thing. It makes slicing mushrooms so much easier. I really love this thing. It's such a time saver in the kitchen, and it also is great for strawberries. And then sometimes I'll just roughly chop a banana and slice the bananas that way too. When the meat and onions were about halfway done cooking, I added the mushrooms because they don't need to cook quite as long. I find the trick to having mushrooms taste really good is to make sure that they are still fresh and that you don't overcook them. After that, I just season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. And as you can see, my mushrooms are just done, and that's how my family eats them so well. Then I removed the veggies and meat from my saucepan so that I could use it to make a white sauce. To start the sauce, I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter to my skillet and let that melt. And then on top of that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. And this is going to help thicken up the sauce. I'm going to take a whisk and whisk that around for about 1 minute while the flour cooks. Next, I'm going to add some milk to that sauce, about 1/4 cup at a time, and then really mix that around with the whisk until there are no lumps whatsoever. Then I add another splash of milk and mix it around again until there are no lumps. This is the trick to making really good smooth sauces. And then after I have a good sauce base, I'm going to add the remaining 2 cups of milk. After that, I just took my frozen rice, poured it in a bowl, and heated it up in the microwave for 3 minutes. Once the sauce was thickened, I just added to it about 1 cup of frozen peas. I'm gonna season my sauce with a little salt, pepper, about a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of thyme. And then also, I didn't mention this because I don't always put it in my sauces, but I'm just gonna grate about 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese over it because that just makes it a little bit more flavorful. And last to the skillet, I just add the veggies and meat that we cooked earlier. And here is dinner is all ready. I'm very excited to eat this because I'm hungry. Here's the rice that I pulled out of the microwave, and then I'm also serving it with some buttered toast. Daniel's not eating with us tonight, that's why there's only 2 pieces of toast. He is at a boys' boot camp for the next 3 days. Until he gets back, I am flying solo. So today is Tuesday and I'm about to start dinner. It's 5 o'clock, so it's on time for a change, and I removed the nail polish from my nails finally. The kids and I have been at IKEA all day, and so instead of watching a movie, we bought the chalkboard easel from IKEA. It was only like $20. So I set it up and they are happily playing, who knows for how long though. So they're not watching a movie, they're just in there playing. Today is day 2 of Daniel being gone, and I'm just trying to do something fun each day. So today was IKEA. There were a couple of moments there where I was a little bit worried about things, but the trip turned out really well, and I'm really excited to show you guys the decor I got in a later video. back to the cooking. Today we are making some clam chowder, which is another one of Marky's favorite meals. I am not a huge fan of clams, so don't get put off by the name if you guys don't like clams, because they're really tiny in the cans, and when you cook them they just have like the texture of chicken, and it just really flavors the soup so beautifully. So don't get scared of the title, make sure you guys try it. But this soup is really delicious and creamy. Marky was drinking it the first time I ever made it. So let's just start cooking. So here I have all of the ingredients that we're going to need, and please notice that there are not as many dishes in my sink today. I really love soups because there's not all that many ingredients and they're just a one-pot meal and you're done. So over here for our dairy, we have some butter, some half and half. I have some green onions, some organic celery, russet potatoes, 2 6.5-ounce cans of chopped clams. Sorry, the kids are getting bored with their chalkboard and they're over here now. Okay, so they played with the chalkboard for about 15 minutes and now they're watching a movie. These are a little hard to find. They don't have them at Trader Joe's, and at Target they had them on the tippy top shelf and they were like pushed way back. So if you can't find them, always ask. Anyway, so chopped clams is what you want, not whole clams. And in clam juice, and do not throw the juice away because we're gonna use that. I also have a little bit of sugar. I'm not using all of this. And then we'll also need some flour and then salt and pepper to season it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is prepare the potatoes, and I have this really cool veggie brush that I really like. I think Chefin is the brand, but I'm gonna use it to scrub my potatoes instead of peeling them so that we eat the skins, because the skins are actually really, really good for you. That's where most of the nutrients are. So I just scrub them really well so there's no dirt remaining. And you're going to need 2 cups of diced potatoes. I grabbed 3 potatoes thinking that they were kind of small, but all you need is 2 medium potatoes and that will equal 2 cups. The way I like to cut these, I don't know if you can notice from the screen, but I make 1 slice off the side of the potato and then turn that on the side and use that as a base so that the potato won't wobble around while I'm trying to cut it. After that, I'm going to wash my celery, and I need about 1 cup of diced celery, so all you need is about 2 to 3 stalks. I just dice my celery, discarding a little bit of both ends. After that, I grab some green onions, give them a good rinse, and pull off any bad parts, and then I'm going to finely chop those as well. And you also need about 1 cup of them too. Next, it's time to pull out my Dutch oven again. I use this thing all the time if you guys can't tell. And then to it, you're gonna add all of your chopped vegetables. I'm gonna open both cans of clams and leave the lids on so that I can just squeeze out the juice over the vegetables. To that, I'm gonna add 4 cups of water and then mix it around and turn it on to medium-high heat. You just need to make sure that you add enough water to cover your vegetables. After that, it's time to start the creamy base to this soup, and to a skillet you're gonna add 1/2 cup of butter, and the original recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup, but I cut it down to half. You could probably cut it down a little bit less, but it's gonna make this soup so tasty. To that, I add 1/2 cup of flour and whisk it around for a couple minutes while it cooks. And cocoa distracted me and I accidentally cooked it too long, that's why it's so dark brown, but it should just be a really light brown. To that, in about 1/4 cup increments, I'm going to add the half and half, whisking really well to get rid of any lumps in between the additions of the half and half. Once the veggies are fork tender, I'm just going to add my clams and let them cook in there for a few minutes. Once they're done and my sauce has thickened up, I'm just going to mix it in. And like I said, I cooked it too long, so it was really thick, but you're just going to add it straight to the pot of veggies and mix it in until it's a nice creamy soup. I'm just going to season the soup with a little bit of salt and pepper. And the last ingredient is 1 teaspoon of sugar. I just quickly give it a taste to make sure I got all the seasonings right, and I did end up adding a little bit more salt. And that is it for the soup. It's really easy, really creamy, and really delicious. And here is the finished soup. Usually we serve it with some crackers, but our crackers went stale, so we're not gonna have them tonight. But I might give the kids some buttered toast to go with it. This also goes perfectly with fish and chips if you want to add a little bit more to it, but we love it as a meal just like that. Here are Marcus's and Chloe's, all nice and cooled off, just serving it with some milk, a LaCroix for me, and some buttered toast. And they have been asking for dinner, so we're gonna go eat. So those are the 4 toddler approved meals that I had planned for you today. Please let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of them, and if you end up making any of them, please tag me on Instagram because I would love to see. Once again, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you have not already done that, and give this video a like so that I know you guys want to see more like this coming up in the future. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.